Hello everyone, this is Buddy Quibings and welcome back to Let's Play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where we are continuing on in the 5th chapter of the game, The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Alright, let's talk to this lovely gentleman here about the investigation.
So, how is the investigation going, Inspector?
Nothing to it really. Very simple case this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact.
Gina? You're going to charge her?
That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid.
Is she threatening him with her goggles?
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
Even though they're shady as hell? It's typical.
How could you? How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So, you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Holmes, have you?
Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat.
And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison?
She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course.
Well, we just saw her there, so...
Can you tell us anything about Mr. Holmes? What's his condition?
Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Signers.
Is it Signers? I'm gonna say Signers.
At St. Signers. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting and all.
Oh,
That's kind of shady. What kind of hospital doesn't let you visit them at all, you know?
The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh.
oh no.
He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Holmes pipe down.
Mr. Holmes is a human like the rest of us, you know.
Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery and what now? They've got to stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better.
Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as right as rain before you know it.
Oh.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Well, because, of course... Ah, yes, because Mr. Holmes is such a great detective, that's why.
The little dance.
We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Shirley.
Oh.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theatre.
Theater. That's what they call it. I guess.
Her ladyship.
I couldn't help noticing, Inspector.
What? Out with it, sunshine.
Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris.
Watch the sauce, sonny. I'm a copper, and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's 'cause of those adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why.
Oh,
I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
Weren't you complaining about the negative attention you get from it?
Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Shirley's.
what did you write about the inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It was one of Holmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you.
Oh, that's amazing.
All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. And they've even set up a fan club for me.
So, I don't know why you were complaining earlier about it, and now it looks like you're grateful? Mixed, mixed, mixed.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Holmes could change his tune about me. Gregson, no, the great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh?
Well, at least he's upfront about his motivations.
The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month, when the new Rants magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Glug, 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 glug.
It's convenient for me, so I'll let you keep thinking your life is in jeopardy.
your income, I guess.
Oh, lovely. Tar very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
Teetotal.
Oh yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about actually, Mr. Nodahodo.
Yes, what is it?
I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now.
An important message. I wonder what it could be.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me what this important message is then?
Ooh. Sorry.
Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector?
Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe.
Nope, not anymore. She had to head off.
Head off? Where?
To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her.
Ah, yes, of course, I'd forgotten about that.
One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you that she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service.
Well, we didn't have cell phones back then, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else we, I don't know if we should show him this. Pawnbroker's ticket box. A redemption ticket issued from the pawnbroker owned by the victim. Should we present it to him? I'm debating.
Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think?
We don't tend to share, Sunshine, not with the general public.
In that case, Grexy, how about some herbal tea?
Okay. Oh, lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
You don't mind sharing that, then?
Alright. It's fine. It's probably for the best not to, share that anyway. Alright then. Do we get to examine? Or can we not because of them?
Police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it.
Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts.
Every article, but that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely.
We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours.
What kind of accent did I give him? Oh my god.
We're sifted through it all in shifts at least, but we'll be working through the night, that's for sure.
Excuse me. Bobbies have it rough back then.
And even then we'll barely have scratched the surface.
Crime in a pawnbroker's. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare.
It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know. A crime in a pawnbroker's.
I guess so.
Alright then, let's see what we can uncover.
Boy, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here.
Oh, but we were hoping to investigate.
This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
What's the problem, Grexy? Bruno's a lawyer, you know that.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruhodo was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter.
Even when we are defending someone, they're always like, no, you can't investigate, so whatever.
The accused.
If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around.
Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers.
Looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way.
Alright. Well, it'll be a while until we're able to do that. So let's go get Susato. New location has been added. Where? Here we are. Lord Chief Justice's office.
Susie's waiting. We need to go and meet her.
We have to see this guy again. I completely forgot the voice I gave him, but whatever.
Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Somehow he always feels like a big villain to me. The music and just his attitude. So I'm kind of surprised so far that he hasn't had any other indications of being the bad guy. Unless it suddenly comes out at the end of this? I don't know.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you.
Them's fighting words. I think this is him.
So, everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust?
Yes, thank you very much. Yep, it's them.
There they are, Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland.
Oh?
Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland. Susato-san.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague.
What's this all about? Why were you talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial?
You mean... she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Let's talk.
Mrs. Sato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has.
That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no.
Oh no!
Professor Mikotoba.
That nice guy. Yeah, he helped us out, so... Yes, it was nice to meet you, sir. And he cared about Asogi a lot, too. Eugene Mikotoba, professor of forensic medicine.
We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day. Oh no.
I don't believe it.
As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days.
Oh my god. She's not gonna make it in time.
I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible.
Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Is this for real? Is he really gonna die? Gina's trial. So Gina has been charged. She'll have to appear in court.
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago. And the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later.
Gina. Oh, the Lestrade girl and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. In all too conspicuous case, the pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
Uh-huh, sure.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart.
In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. Oof. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now.
Rude.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend.
Serious matters. Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that.
Alright, well, whatever. Screw you.
3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me.
There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart.
Which is?
It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her.
A timely suggestion.
Sorry?
The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Iris, he doesn't like you. Be quiet, honey. We don't want no problems with this jerk.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and the defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right.
Why would she do that?
A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison.
Yes, thank you.
Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you.
What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris. We must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do?
As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sato. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer.
Yeah, to not have Susato with us during the trial is gonna feel weird. Okay, let's go to the prison. Okay, hopefully we can convince her now.
Hello again, Gina.
Really? Every single time. What are you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously.
Yeah, I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I?
Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Get serious.
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell.
Eh?
Farewell. Tomorrow, I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories.
I like this music.
And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable.
Susie.
Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Nodohodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
Oh. What? It's my fault?
Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
Interesting. Because she's a tsundere, you know, someone who's like very stubborn and difficult and keeps people at an arm's length, sometimes I feel like you gotta be a little like mean to them in order to get their true side to come out, and I think that's what she's doing. She's being cold and harsh, but that's what she needs to do to get her to open up. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies.
So prove it.
By admitting one of your own untruths.
Huh.
What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies.
You must tell Mr. Nodohodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial?
Mm-hmm.
The one in which Mr. Magnus McGilded was acquitted. That shady mother effer. The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Will you tell us about it now?
Come on, Gina. It's time.
Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it.
What sort of thing did you lie about?
I was hiding under the seat that night.
That was the truth.
It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then... Oof. I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilda discovered you.
Yeah. She screamed or something. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Yeah.
Then Mr. McGilda started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat.
Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the coppers showed up. Interesting.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything.
Alright. Oof, quite a lot. You know what? I'll make it a longer episode. Let's get through all this.
You said McGilda made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGilda sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilda heard that and dragged me out by my arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. The disc.
A disc?
Do you mean...
Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winterbanks.
So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus.
Not for long, McGilda spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his pocket.
So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Okay. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab. I was straining me ears the whole time. After a while I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was McGilda getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh,
Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilda and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilda claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
Which is clearly a lie. Yeah, you liar.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported his.
All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud.
But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilda and the victim knew each other.
Yep. He had to, because he definitely killed the guy. We just don't know why. Something about the disc.
So Miss McGilded was lying as I suspected.
Okay. I knew it wasn't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilda told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two cops from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right, and after they'd gone, McGilda asked the driver to do him a favour.
A favor?
I forgot what voice I did for him.
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is to take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Hey, I'll give you 10 guineas.
We know he's greedy.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yep, you got it. It was Winterbank's. Coachy snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilda opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see. Alright.
What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said. Interesting little picture here.
I'm sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all?
You asked him to go pop your weasel, right?
Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with the pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand?
What? You want me to have the ticket?
That's right. And I'll come fetch it from you later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it.
Alright then.
And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawnshop, Winterbank's, so it is, and you're to extend the loan afore the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it.
Eh? But I ain't got that kind of brass.
Here's £5, that should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try and intend funny now, if you go against me.
Yeah, I get it.
Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt.
The coppers?
Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say, and what is it that you won't?
Wow. He really had everything all figured out, didn't he? Except for the fact that he was gonna get murdered right after the trial. After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So McGilded planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony.
Interesting. Very interesting. So then I'm wondering about Benedict. Yeah, Eggert Benedict. How did he know all the information about the item that he pawned? You know, the coat. He knew the watchword. He knew a lot of things. Hmm. Because I feel like if McGilda told Gina all of that, then he wouldn't just go around and tell Benedict to go get it. You know what I mean? So that's strange. Very strange. Now my brain is like, All right. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with.
What a wicked man.
He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In a heartbeat. He could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then could we have gone, huh? Nowhere, that's where.
So I didn't have no choice.
That's terrible.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Aw. Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Holmes was shot, you see.
You what?
Shirley's having a big operation right now, Ginny.
Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Holmes is gonna be alright, right? Aw, see, you do care.
That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Holmes' sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it?
Something like that? Miss Susato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here.
Come on, Gina, let us help you. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing.
Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely.
Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court record. Yeah.
Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now.
Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there.
I feel like we've finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it.
Of course not. Oh, to be continued. Damn, this game is long. This chapter. This case. Ugh. Gosh, how many investigation segments are there? That is a lot. But, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. But I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. But it makes sense, right? We're tackling two cases at once, actually. But alright. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.